that emotion of yours won't go call that torment, because you always want things to be done the way you want, the way you see things. And this is not going to be possible. You want to go? We live in a world where people have diverse opinion and views relating to things. We have moved from the era where people see things just the way they want. Now you must have to consider general view. That is what it is. Now, George, if a madu do na Facebook, do you know the first thing I look at? Intention. Intention. And I want you to learn that today. Even when you are dealing with your fellow, your friends, your family members, your relatives or business partners, pay attention to their body language, for their body language is going to tell you what their intentions are. And if their intentions are pure, you will disregard a lot of things, utterances, and you disregard it because you know that at the end of the day, their intentions are pure. But my dear, if their intentions are not pure, if their intentions is designed to bring you down, if their intentions is designed to disgrace you, if their intentions do designed to level you to zero, my dear, even the most intelligent thing they do towards you, be very, very careful, because it is heading to somewhere. I want to use it to analyze what Timothy Ofebu wrote yesterday in a comment section concerning Evangelist Ebuka Obi. And I want to also use it today, because I saw where he actually came on my comment section to explain why Evangelist Ebuka Obi is a layman. Why I started with these intentions towards Evangelist. Yeah? It has shown that his intentions towards Evangelist Ebuka Obi are pure. And until he proves otherwise, I still see him as the same. I still see him the same way until he proves otherwise. You see, you cannot be everywhere at the same time, antagonizing a man who has done nothing to you. And no matter the kind of demeaning words people use on him, you ignore it and you go straight to go and explain things and something that is going to clear that particular perception of him. Now, what people, I wonder a day when people like Timothy Ofebu, people like Reverend Father Ugu will come up on Facebook and say, no, you people should stop insulting Evangelist Ebuka Obi. If there is something or a way you people want to express your view without insulting him. But no, that insult is exactly what you are aiming. You want always be unleashing and inciting people to go out against him on Facebook simply because, in the language of some of you, or the only crime he committed was not submitting to Catholic authority to ride him the way they are riding Okunere, right? To manipulate and Pierre Pim Pom Pim to say happy for Dambaka. On something. You can't even say something. You can't even maintain a position. Yeah? That is the only crime or committed. And don't blindly associated with that particular idea. And accept the Evangelist Ebuka Obi as submitted to the Catholic authorities. Where anything will make sense to you all. Now, let us go to what Timothy Ofebu wrote on why Evangelist Ebuka Obi is a layman. I actually love how he responded. Maybe, except if I have seen others. But the one, my attention there to this one, except if he has responded in other manner. But this is what I have seen. He said, why Mr. Ebuka Obi is a Catholic layman. He says by 11th June 2025 that he is still a member of Catholic Church. 1. 2. In his daily open heaven broadcast on social media platforms, he sits near a statue of Blessed Virgin Mary with a rosary wrapped around her statue. This hyperdolia is a validation of his Catholic membership. 3. A Catholic lay person in the ministry can call himself an apostle. I am very much interested and particular about this part. for a reason which I will point out. A Catholic lay person in the ministry can call himself an apostle, prophet, evangelizer, evangelist, or even a professor, but can never use the titles like Reverend Father, Bishop, Pope, because he is not ordained. He's a lay person. In the context of the Catholic Church, a layman or lay person is a baptized member of the church who is not ordained to the clergy or a religious order. They are part of the laity, which comprises the general body of faithful members. Laymen are not ordained as priests, bishops, or deacons, and they are not bound by the same vow or responsibilities as members of the clergy. Key point about laymen in the Catholic Church: not ordained, laymen are not part of the clergy and have not been ordained to any of the holy orders. Part of the laity, they belong to the laity, the non-ordained members of the church. Baptized and members of the church, laymen are baptized and are considered members of the Catholic Church. Shared mission, like clergy, laymen share in the mission of the church, though they typically focus on their secular vocations. Lay ministry. Many laymen actively participate in ministry within the church, offering various services and roles. Now, in all these things that Timothy of Ebu have listed here, I perfectly agree with him. But in the context in which he wrote whatever he wrote in that comment section, he can agree with me that his intentions are channeled into demeaning Evangelist Ebuka Obi. For example, if you said that laymen often call themselves, according to you, you said they often call themselves, they can call themselves or himself, according to if you are talking about a particular person, an apostle, prophet, evangelist, or even a professor. The question I am putting to you is, why did you fail? Why exactly and honestly did you fail to refer to Evangelist Ebuka Obi as an evangelist or a prophet? I'm asking you, like, or do too heavy that now if you accord him as an if you call me Ezugo today, you don't even know the origin of that name, Ezugo. But because I call myself Ezugo, you are here now referring to me as Ezugo. And you cannot call me another name aside that Ezugo. Ezugo is not my real name. I hope you know that Ezugo is not my real name. Rather, Ezugo is just my title name. So if you want to refer to me, you refer to me as Ezugo, because that is what I call myself. That is the title which I refer myself as. So, you call me by Ezugo. If you fail to address me by Ezugo, it is a disrespect to me. It is a disrespect to me. So, although your intentions are very clear and pure, you could have simply referred to Evangelist Ebuka Obi as an evangelist. Since you understand that those are also in order as far as Catholic Church is concerned, and their missions, obviously, are simply the same. From every single thing you have narrated here, what it means is that I don't know why in the Catholic order, I am not questioning anything. And if you are a Catholic, if you are a member of the Catholic Church here, forgive me. What I am saying here is not aimed at insulting the Catholic Church or maybe bringing down the name of the Catholic Church or questioning anything. But I am saying that some of you people are carrying this particular priestly order, bishop, this, you are carrying it to extra mile. You are carrying it to extra mile. Does it mean that your Reverend Father is going to stand in heaven before you enter? I am asking you, this particular ordained priest or this, you are taking it to extra mile. You are taking it to extra. That is why a lot of talent that is capable of drawing soul to Christ have permeated in the Catholic Church. Yes, they have been pied in the Catholic Church. They cannot germinate, they cannot grow, they cannot manifest because you have so many doctrines positioned to suppress them. Now, the few people who resisted and said, this call, I must answer it. Ahwaya for her. The other day, I heard Father Okunere screaming on top of his voice that no na the kind of persecution on our suffer continue, that he will be pushed to leave the church, that he's going to leave. Now, if he leaves, lost to who? If he leaves, he's going to live with a lot of Catholics because thousands of people will follow him. You don't need anybody to tell you that. So what have you achieved? I thought the aim and goal is heaven. So I don't know why people keep emphasizing on ordained Catholic or Catholic priest, ordained Catholic bishop. Is it one of the qualifications to make heaven? I am asking you, is it one of the qualifications to make heaven? So since you know that all these people, that they are, because from what you wrote here, what they do is closely related. They also are in the same order of the church. The only difference is that they have not been ordained as either priest or ordained as either maybe a bishop or so. So why do you think it will be a reason for you to distinguish Father Kelvin Ugu from Evangelist Ebuka Obi? The way you put up the picture. Because the way you put up the picture, you made Evangelist Ebuka Obi to look like a layman who is interested in just business. Because that was clearly what Father Kelvin Ugu referred to him as. I'm asking you. And that is exactly what you are defending, in case if you don't know. So from your intention, we could say that it is not pure. And that is why in Juena Won, be careful the way you are moving at a very high speed. Because when people say that you are envious of him, they are not wrong. If people say you are jealous of him, they are not wrong. Because of the way and manner you dive into issues that concern Evangelist Ebuka Obi without even looking down to study what prompted that particular reaction. Father Kelvin Ugu was reacting according to his write-up. What he termed Evangelist Ebuka Obi is a businessman. He termed him as a businessman because if he say almost most of his prophecies are concocted, what it means is that Evangelist Ebuka Obi is out strictly on a business. Now, somebody commented and you came there to come and remind that person that not so funny and the not wubuleke for trying to compare Evangelist Ebuka Obi, who is a layman. Now look at hotel, because the only thing you see him building is only hotels. And those hotels on Alo, if for any reason why Ejalo that hotel, you have not seen any reason Ejalo that hotel. On Alo that hotel, okay, Dialo Jane, on Alo hotel are strictly for people there from far to his ministry. Is that why he's building that hotel? Or is he strictly building it just like into Villa Park is Wedon and Lagos? These are people who want to stay closer to the ministry and providing accommodation at ease for them. You can just come down from the Lord and you go into the church. I don't think you will anything no bad about it. Synagogue church did it, and a lot of people did it. Father Bemonso is currently doing that. Okay. There, have you ever for one day call out for the Bemonso? You cannot do that because according to you, he is a specially ordained priest. We should stop all this. Stop all this. Stop all these things. If he refers to Evangelist Ebuka Obi as a businessman because he's acting as a businessman, as a layman, or he's not ordained as a priest, that is why he is going into such businesses according to you people, because that is the only thing I can get. I ask you, is Fadede a layman? It would be nice if you answer this question. Is Fadede a layman? Is Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka a layman? Is Father Bemonso a layman? Do you know so many other priests out there with different establishments out there? Do you know how many of them? Are they also laymen? Are they also acting in the capacity as a layman? Those are the things, jealousy. You will not analyze things very well to see that what this person is doing, that this person is doing it. That Father Kelvin Ugu simply lacked the capacity to do the same thing. Because Father Kelvin Ugu according to ntụ ose apụtụrụ onwe ife ọ na-aga evangelism na remote areas. I don't think if he has the capacity to mobilize all the mobilizable just for that evangelism on aga, that he will not do that. For example, he would like to build conducive hospital for those people so that they will know that in the body of Christ there is fullness of everything. He would like to support their education system, bring in modern facilities for them, do all these things Evangelist Ebuka Obi, so that people can see light through the church. Yeah? Okay. Ezugo, please, brother, you are not a Catholic and may not understand how titles are used. The Catholic Church believe that there are only 4 evangelists. They are those that wrote the 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Lay people in Nigeria who attended 2 years evangelization training are called evangelizers. I am not disputing that. But you can also refer to him as prophet. Sir, you also refer to him as prophet. And how I wish you can come on screen here so that let us even engage each other. Yeah? Because you commented in respect to what Father Kelvin Ugwu wrote. And in that piece Father Kelvin Ugwu wrote, he was simply referring to Evangelist Ebuka Obi as a business merchant, as a businessman, by advising Zionites to all learn the business skills of Evangelist Ebuka Obi, claiming that all his prophecies are concordant. Now, I want to know why a reverend father will devote his time, rather than devoting his time into the ministry of drawing souls to Christ. He is devoting his time to fighting a fellow man of God. Because whether you like it, whether you are ordained or not, all of you are men of God. It is only mgbe abatasiri n'ime ka ya no wee nwa na onye ahụ a Catholic priest, na onye ahụ a bishop, na onye ahụ a prophet, na onye ahụ a pastor at this particular congregation. But all of you are all men of God. So I want to know why there is that discrimination in the capacity in which anybody can act. For all I know is that if you are not a Catholic priest, you cannot keep mass. And Evangelist Ebuka Obi has never been doing that, for all I know. So, meaning they can always in his own capacity. You said, I respect Timothy so much. I do so. I stated it yesterday. But Abram somebody he found a many in this particular time. And I on Facebook, what Timothy Ofuebu can do least is joining these people in looking for every possible means to humiliate Evangelist Ebuka Obi. It is on Christians. I'm telling you, it is on Christians. It doesn't even matter. Timothy Ofuebu, I'm trying to bring you in, but I don't know what is happening. I'm inviting you again. Network on YouTube. I can't even see comment here. I only see comment from this phone. You want to go? Doing that at this particular time, when the church is constantly under attack, and the fact that most of you even look aside when you see most of these people who are ridiculing the church, some of these people who are trying to uproot that foundation where all of you are product and standing on. You people look away when you see them, when you see their utterances, but always speak enough to pick if Evangelist Ebuka people. What do you want me to call that? I have never seen any Anglican priest. Look, let me tell you, the other time Evangelist Ebuka went on a crusade in South Africa, and there was a testimony by an Anglican priest who testified to what God used Evangelist Ebuka, the miracle God used Evangelist Ebuka to do for him. Did you see any Anglican bishop Did you see any Anglican member come out to criticize that? You cannot see any of them. If for any reaction, if for any reaction from him, from us, you did not see any. Or that testimony, the real, it is left for him. Or not the force, it is also left for him. One thing I know for sure is that everything is to the glory of God. Or na testimony out the real, or nyaya salon yet. And if I tap into that same testimony, I have not tapped into a wrong thing. Now somebody kuna God. Now God kuna na God use a man of God where he lawyer of sickness here, and I tap into that testimony. Are you telling me that I have tapped into the wrong thing? So I hurry around. I don't want healing or what. I'm trying to bring him in, but network are there. A request to go call 2 times here, but network are there. Network are there. And I can't see comments on this particular phone. The church should come together in unity and stop all these things. Let us stop all these things. We have problems already in our hands, and we are allowing those guys their behaviors. They grow day by day. I am now fighting against each other. I am now fighting against each other. A lot of all these people, let me tell you, Evangelist Ebuka Obi, Reverend Ejike Mbaka, name them. I am talking about people who know within Anglican and Catholic. I go about no Pentecostal churches here. Shebiko Emmanuel, Kerafaya, somebody Chetanamo Okoshua ya noro na DCC. Meshabia na Cathedral. Somebody Chetano Mafe, Auzie, Venerable Auzie, Bishop Ezofo. People like Nda are standing in a very big gap for us. We should appreciate them and not attack them. I don't know why the church is trying everything possible to attack that spiritual aspect of the church. Do you people want, honestly, if there is no benefit spiritually, I'm going to benefit from the church. I'm not going there for anything physical. I want to make it clear to you. I'm not going to church for anything I know I can get from my fellow man. Yes, I am not going to church for anything I know I can get from my fellow man. I am going to the church for my spiritual growth, spiritual upliftment, and my spiritual benefit. The way you can put it. You got that? So if I cannot get it from a church, I would rather join a club. I would rather join 12 Apostles Club. I would rather join Kelafaya, Pantas Club, and the Kelava clubs are no benefit here as a member. So why can't I just join those clubs so that I will know that no idea on every club activities, we have fun, we cash out on each other, we support each other. Why go to the church? If you people are trying, the fact is that some of you who are claiming to kill that spiritual aspect of the church, you are also in your own kind of way promoting your own mission in that way. For example, if there can be a testimony in adoration ground that a woman was raised and all of us clap and celebrate God, celebrate grace for using our papa to do that miracle job, miracle work, how then will I have a related testimony from Zion and I will begin to question it? Let me tell you, testimony na Zion is to the glory of God. It is answerable for Onya because it is not me. Yes. The question is that testimony programmed to The answer is yes. Another question is my God capable of doing that? The question and the answer is what? Yes. If my God is capable of doing that, the only thing you begin to question as a Christian when it comes to reality is, na 20,000 as a monthly salary every month. And then when any relative will go na identify with program you will buy your dad no if he in email and then not 5 million. Your dad will with account. You should be surprised. You should be shocked. You have to doubt. Can I boy you see with a 5 million or a man only when your dad will go. Now your dad is capable of solving even billions of problems for you. How do you get surprised when you bring out a request of 5 million and he said, send me your account? Whether he is going to send it or not, he will full confidence that your daddy is capable of solving that problem. So sometimes I wonder why some of we Christians get you are worried or you doubt each time you hear testimony from churches. That testimony will fake. Let it be left for God to judge those people. But ask yourself, is the God we worship capable of doing this? If he is capable of doing that, why are you doubting his capacities? Doubting that testimony means you are doubting God. And if our God has been so powerless that he cannot do any of those things and he put at those churches, Lord, why am I going to church? Why am I going to church? What am I going there to go and do? You want to go? Always enjoy your club. Because now those club at least you are there for reward and benefit in everything, and you still have something to do. It is not also easy because before you go to 20 or 30. So or drop easy but at least I can go and join those clubs. So I don't know why some of you in a bid to always remind Evangelist Ebuka Obi that he is not an ordained priest. I think what matters here is the work we are putting in for the sake of Christ. I think what matters here is the souls that is being drawn to God. Yeah? Okay. I've sent a request to you, sir. You want to go? That is what matters. Seeing always. Good morning, sir. Are you here, sir?
Yeah, good morning, Ezugo.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Timothy of Igbo. You are welcome to my program this morning.
Thank you. I do brief because I travel outside Abuja. In fact, I can actually Buluno. Forget many times where my name was mentioned. So, go some reply here, some. You are doing a nice job, but you have full information. Only about comprehensive information on some facts, and I'm surprised because at the end of the day, you keep on saying na Father Kelvin's post. You cover the whole story. A young man called Mark Matthias or something like that came and say, na Father Kelvin nego orezili oji tinyelu ndị dopo borehole neighbor on a missionary work na Gambia, that the money that Father Kelvin raised, and changing to English because of those that don't even understand Igbo, that the money Father Kelvin raised in his missionary outpost in Gambia to buy motorcycles and put boreholes for the poor there is not up to what Ebuka dashed people to barb their hair. Go and read it. And then the Father Kelvin that is envying Ebuka, that Ebuka is already building 55 hotels, which Father Kelvin can never do in his lifetime. Now, to me, this is stupidity and foolishness, and I have no apologies. Catholic priest, being a missionary like Kelvin, that is order of missionary of St. Paul, that is in a foreign poor country, there is no base of comparison between somebody that is building hotels, which I doubt if Ebuka is even building up to 55 hotels at the same time. I will address that later. So I now say that the man is very foolish, and I stand by that, because how do you now compare a priest that is a missionary in a poor place trying to raise money to put potable water for citizens to a lay person? Now, from all the vituperations and anger, I notice you and your followers have two issues. Number one, why should I call Ebuka layman? And number two, some people say I use the word Mr. for him. Number three, now you are bringing out Fadede this, Fadanjoku this, Fadambaka this. Brother, let me just in 5 minutes make my reply. Number one, I have said it to those who care to reply that I and the Ebuka and his twin brother Shinwe can know one another face by face. I have been to their house when I was in Lagos, now in Abuja for 8 years. He has been to my house when I was at Festac 3 times. In fact, I have preached in Zion 3 times. And I say that when Ebuka wanted to buy land, present headquarters, of all human beings in this world that will advise him, he came to my house. And the planning on how to buy the land came up. It was me that preached at their crusade at Elasamaja and introduced my friend who is good in fundraising, Patrick Adebayo, still in Lagos, that raised the first money they used to buy phase 2 plus of land there. This is when everybody rejected him. This is when no charismatic leader want to have anything to do with him. So if I hated him, was jealous of him, was envious of him, why should I give him brotherly hand? They had what they call camping at Adodo. Adodo is about 50 or 100 kilometers away from Lagos in Ogun State. I went on my own expenses to speak there, to encourage them, to give direction. That is who I am. So let me break something down for you to understand. Ebuka is a layman. Take it or leave it. Catholic Church have 3 divisions: the clergy, the religious, and the lay person. Clergy is anybody that is ordained, priest to pope. Religious can be religious brothers, or what you people call reverend sisters, or deacons. Then they are now ordained or deacons too. Lay person, no matter how gifted you are, because you have not been ordained, the title layman doesn't mean an insult. And I use it in the context that Ebuka, being a lay person, can go into full blast business, unlike a missionary priest that is forbidden to do business. A Catholic will easily understand what I'm saying. Fadede you are mentioning is not a missionary priest. He's a congregational priest with the Holy Ghost fathers called CSSP. Father Mbaka you are mentioning is a diocesan priest. He's permitted to do some certain things. They're not a missionary. So I'm talking as an insider. And I just aired my view. So I'm surprised that they are beginning to say, oh, why can't he refer as an evangelist? Well,
Okay,
I have told you that. Let me just use this
I will not able to give me a little time so that I can also point out 1 or 2 things briefly.
That's what I'm saying. Allow me to finish. You have been talking now because of the network. So that when I finish, if you have
only trying to tell you after you push allow me about 2, 3, or 4 minutes before you go.
No, definitely you will ask me questions. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, brother, is that at the end of the day, we have every reason to call him a layman, which is what he is, unless he's no more a Catholic. And I told you that by yesterday he was a Catholic, because I know. I have a friend that spoke to him. He's a Catholic. And I told you, he being a Catholic, every open heaven he's doing by 10 p.m. on social media platform. The statue of our Blessed Mother Mary is there. with the rosary wrap around it. It's an evidence of his Catholicism. So he's a lay person. Him Ebuka, we never see it as an insult. He has said several times, even in his own pulpit while talking, which I listened to, that he is not a priest, that he is not ordained, that priests have their gifts and lay people have their gifts. I'm quoting him. Now, some other of your friends and commentators say, why can't I call him an evangelist? Why can't I call him brother? Calling him a mister is not an insult. People call me mister. In his international passport, he used to travel all over the world. They didn't put the word prophet, evangelist there. In fact, even Pope or anybody, nobody will put your title before you. In the real civilized world, you call people by that word, Miss, Mr., or Mrs. That is how people have been addressed all over the world. So I'm using the right title for him in civility. That's why Ebuka and others gathered around. If I want to talk, I can say, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why people say all protocols are that, which means you can't keep on using titles, because you don't know the one the person ascribed to himself. And the word prophet, somebody say, oh, why didn't you call him prophet? In the Catholic Church, it is not a title. It's not being used. It can be an office. You can be operating in office of a prophet, but that does not mean that they will call you a prophet. Do you understand? So all these things is out of even civility, decorum, and understanding. And please, all these people like us are jealous of him. Well, I am sure there are people who are jealous and envious of him. They count me out. Honestly, I have nothing to gain in being envious of him, because number one, we are not even in the same city. I'm in Abuja, he's in Lagos. So what is that? And I've told you my antecedent, my meeting with him between 2010 and 2016. I didn't sound like someone that is envious when I was in his house 2 times on his invitation. And he came to me. We spoke on phone several times. And people misunderstand social media engagement. There was a time you even said that I'm getting closer to the saga between Ogechi and all this. I'm a human being. I'm entitled to my own opinion. In fact, if there is any person Father Kelvin so hated before, he has used me more than 5 times on his post as you are using me. And I calculated the number of abuse his members gave me. It was up to 1,000 times. Even currently when he said Holy Ghost fire, I came openly and said, Father, you are wrong. You are not informed on this. You saying that God does not say that there is no way God can kill his enemies. He said it is theological wrong, biblically wrong, this one wrong. And I came up with a list of all those that God have killed. From Pharaoh in Old Testament to Herod and Ananias and Sapphira in the New Testament. How he wiped out the entire nation of Amalekites. In fact, how God even took away kingship from a man called Saul because he refused to kill the king of Agag on God's instruction. And I told them it is for us to pray, but it is for God to answer. So even him and Kelvin, Google it and say Timothy of Abel and Kelvin. Google will show you where we have disagreed so openly that for 1 week, 2 weeks, we are talking about it each other. When he said there's nothing like spiritual husband or spiritual wife. I came out openly to prove him wrong. So question I'm asking today, who is Ebuka that people like me that are older than him in age, in ministry, cannot say something corrective about him or his member? Did I attack Ebuka? It was the member I called Obuleke, not Ebuka. And these people that are also saying this from Ogechi, which I know that you are very, very emotional and passionate about Ogechi, and others that are also giving the ministry a bad name. There is something that is called constructive criticism. Pope, in my page, I disagree with the late Pope when he talked about raising hand to bless the gay. I was the first person that came up openly, wrote it before others pick it up and have the courage to talk. I'm talking about Pope Francis that died. In Bishop Conference, I've been invited to speak in Bishop Conference, in Priest Conference. 2 weeks ago, I returned from a conference in Enugu, organized by 100 priests, where I was the speaker for 2 days. So in the Catholic Church, by grace of God, I'm not a small boy. After 36 years, I cannot talk about Ebuka because people will come and abuse me and say I'm jealous. If there is anybody that have encouraged him very, very well, accepted him when he was not even known, being there with him, directed him, helping to raise money to buy the first plot of land. The name of that man is Timothy of Ebu. So you too, I know what bloggers do. You may not be among the paid bloggers and the promoters and the influencers, but our church, who you are now saying what Mbaka is doing, what Ebube Monso is doing, that I cannot attack Ebube Monso, brother. I talk about Ebube Monso in synod, mention him by name before priest and before. In fact, some of our intervention has led to regulations about some of even the way the priests operate. So I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of abuse. I'm not afraid of insult. I'm not afraid of criticism. I know my DNA. My DNA is that I am happy with Zion as a ministry because I'm involved when they were not up to 300. I am happy how they have grown. But that does not mean that everything is 100%. Some of the things we reach out from the back to intervene. I can't say this in public, but let me say it before God and man. That last December, a priest wanted to do a conference on Zion ministry. His PA told me. I called the priest, pleaded with him, brought out my reasons. He saw reasons with me. And I called 2 other priests to call him. And he saw Mwikuku, a blogger based in Finland, called a priest called Nwebe Joy to talk about Zion ministry. I just came home on a Sunday evening, sitting on my own, turned the Facebook on, and I saw Father Nwebe Joy, who I have known for years. And what was coming out from his mouth about Zion, about Ebuka, and every other thing, I knew something has gone wrong. I knew this is not Father Nwebe Joy, I know. And I say, oh God, I don't even know this Mwikuku. If I now ask for me to come in, he might block me. So reluctantly, I send request. And what he said shocked me. He said, our elder brother Timothy of Ebu is here. I want to bring in him and brought me in. Go and search for the video. Though some bloggers are playing snippets of it. I told Father Nwebe Joy, you can't kill a fly with a hammer. This man would have been your junior brother or biological son if you are not a priest. Yeah, he may be wrong, but you have gone far from what he has said so far. Say you are mentioning 10 women he slept with. Father, come back. We are one family. We can criticize in love. There are things we can say behind the back. There are things we can say openly. I beg you, Father, in the name of God, because of God and because of me, don't go this far. It is on record that Father said, Timothy, because you have said this, I am going to back down and not moving up again. And that was the end. Do you know I met Father Mbaka last month, face to face? You think I will meet with him and say every day be talking about Zion ministry and Ebuka on the pulpit? Come on. So don't just be petty and don't just be picking issues. And all the things you are saying about testimony, miracles, I'm not interested in it. My own interest in all this story is I, Timothy. For those who are saying, I know Timothy, I respect Timothy, thank God for them. I have always stand on the side of the truth. There is nothing I will gain by pulling a fellow brother in Christ down, a priest down. What do I gain? Even in that podcast with Webejo and Mwikuku, I told them that nobody will come up openly and say that people are not get saved in Zion. That God is not using the young man to turn around the hearts of people to serve and know God more. So what is all these issues about? So I wouldn't like you, anybody that mentioned anything about Zion. You didn't even tell the audience the whole story that the man is a missionary priest somewhere in Gambia that raised about 2 million to put borehole because the members of his parish are drinking from dirty water. He put the list of how people contributed money and how he used it.
Okay,
A member who may be a Zionist or non-member came in to compare him with Ebuka, and I intervened. So where did I go wrong?
Of your time.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, even about video, I stated it clearly where everything started from. I stated clearly what you were reacting to. Now, I told them that you were reacting to a comment somebody made when Father Webe Joy, when Father Kelvin Ugu posted something about a certain donations people make to something, which I did not get clearly what that donation was for. I stated it clearly. Now, my point, however, is I heard where you said that evangelist or prophet is just an office call, and they are not ordained or whatever. I don't know. I am asking, sir, is it wrong if you address people by their office? Is it wrong? Is there anything wrong if you address people by their office?
It's not wrong at all, but it depends on the disposition of the person. Let me come. If somebody did not call a man a prophet and call him a man, that person is also not wrong. It's only in Nigeria that we are titled grade. It's not done in any part of the world.
I want you to put the record straight now to us. Are you telling me now that I can be free now when I meet Father Kelvin? Are you telling me that I have not done anything wrong if I meet Father Kelvin Ugu tomorrow? I meet Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka tomorrow, and I call him Mr. Ejike Mbaka or Mr. Kelvin Ugu. Are you telling me that I have not done anything wrong as a Christian when I meet these two people and I address them as Mr. and mention their names?
Okay, Mr. Ezugo, you are wrong. Like I told you, you don't even have the full information. You are not even listening. Let me replay what I said.
I'm listening carefully.
Let me replay what I said to guide you. Please, we are having this conversation in context of an organization, a religious organization called Catholic Church. We are having this conversation.
I'm not a Catholic. We are not all Catholic. We audience here on Facebook. I hope you know.
Listen. We are having this conversation in context of titles. And I've told you that if a priest lie down on the ground and a bishop or bishops lay hand on him, from that moment he got up, he is addressed as Reverend Father. The church conferred the title on him. It's just like a judge swearing in Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as a president.
Please, for the sake of time, can we accommodate you? Something for the sake of time. Now I understand.
You can't call him Mr. You can't call him Mr. because he has been ordained and the new title given to him.
Perfectly what you said. And that will take me to where I said that when people say things, when trying to judge people, I look at their intentions. Now, will it be right if I say that you intentionally refused to accord that office of Evangelist Ebuka Obi because you have some grudges or there are some things you harbored against him? Because clearly you don't have any problem with addressing him by that office. I mean, nobody is going to hit you for addressing him as a prophet. But now,
listen,
sir, okay, but I'm allowed. Are you going to continue like this? I think let me make a point.
Okay.
So will it be right if I say that you intentionally, because I said something in that video about intentions, that you intentionally refused to accord him now that office? Because if I clearly come into a clerk office, or I come into anybody's office, provided it is an office, I address you for what you represent there. I don't even need to have any personal relationship with you. If you are talking about Catholic order, I am not a Catholic. I am not a Catholic. I hear Evangelist Ebuka Obi's matter is a matter on Facebook here. We all as Catholics, Anglicans, Methodists, and the Sabbath, we all react to them. I must not see it as a Catholic because I am not. Except if you are telling me, if I see a Catholic priest, because he is not a priest ordained under Anglican order, I should not regard him as a priest. If that is so the question here is, why did you intentionally refuse to accord Evangelist Ebuka to call him by his name according to that office? Let us forget about being ordained.
And what office is that?
Office of a prophet, a prophet or an evangelist.
You see the mistake you are making. He assigned the office to himself. He's not ordained into it by the Catholic Church. People have called me Mr. Timothy of Ebu, Prince Timothy of Ebu. In fact, my official name in Abuja, people call me by, if they want to humor me, is Prince, because I'm from a royal family. So,
okay. So why did you not even use me a brother as a title?
Listen, some call me brother, some call me Mr., some call me Nwokem. It depends on who knows me. Let me tell you, Ebuka, you are trying to defend, won't be worried about this. It is not what you call a man that matters in this case. Because
that's why I asked you. That's why I asked you.
You are trying to.
That's why I asked you. Wait, that's why I ask you. Remember, I allowed you to explain everything. Now, this is more like my time, but I'm only bringing you in so that we can be having it as a conversation. You said what you call a man does not matter. I agree with you perfectly. If you watch my programs on Facebook here, I told them sometimes when I'm relating with people, I forget about scripture. The reason why I forget about scripture is, let us really look at that thing the way you see it. Now, the problem people have, however, is that when you come down to relate to them in the way they say things, it becomes a problem. Since title is not important, like because that governor is not the governor of my state, I can refer to him as Mr. without putting his excellency. So since I am not a member of the Catholic Church, will it be right, since title does not matter, if I see Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, I respect him, or I see Reverend Father Kelvin Uku, and I call him Mr. Kelvin or Mr. Mbaka, since title does not matter, I believe that the same way Evangelist Ebuka Obi will not have any problem with not assigning that office to Otiro. I think even if you don't want to call him an evangelist or a prophet, you can also refer to him as a brother, so that people will know that at least he's the same brother with you in the same faith. So now, is it right if I address these people by their name, not regarding their title, since title doesn't matter?
Okay. Ezugo, I've accepted your correction. Next time I want to address him, because he was a member of Catholic Charismatic Renewal with me before, I think the real title will be Brother Ebuka Obi.
Perfect. Okay, now, now the other thing,
so that we don't stretch this matter.
Yeah, so regard to other things you said. Now, you said I did not go down to the foundation of the issue. But I think the foundation you were referring to wasn't actually the foundation we should be talking about. I think Father Kelvin Ugu is a missionary priest also, like you referred to. So he is acting in his own, he has more like his own calling. Like I stated it even when I did not know, because I have seen some of the way he operates, that he goes into remote areas, taking the gospel to them. I said it, even without even, but the way Nsi Afugasi some pictures and videos on the I know that that is what he is into. But now the problem, however, started. The problem, however, started. It wasn't on how he raised money to drill boreholes, but let us not forget that in the same ministry, the same Seraphic Foundation, the same Seraphic Hospital, the same Seraphic Old People's Home, the same Seraphic Hotel, he listed all of them up to 10 or 11. Let us not forget that the foundation is that he forgot that the same way he raised money like that to drill boreholes for people who need that water for the sake of that evangelism. That is the same way Evangelist Ebuka Obi is also, through those same business ventures he mentioned, gets money to also put into some other part of his ministry, which is what? Empowering the widows, empowering people who go into business. You can see what is happening there at Umwe. He doesn't even have a branch of his ministry there in Anambra State, yet he is building one of the biggest psychiatric hospital, and there's even a very massive hospital coming up there, and where they are going to take people who are, I think, disabled or so in Anambra State. We have seen what he did in Imo State. We have seen all the things he's doing. Is it not better, sir, if we all respect each other's call, not minding whether you are ordained or not? Let us respect you for what you represent. For as long as you are contributing positively. No, let me round up this part, sir. I will allow you. Is it not better if we should be preaching respect among each other, rather than tackling that person who commented, trying to give him a piece of his own medicine? Because what that guy gave him was exactly what he has been giving to Evangelist Ebuka Obi. All this while, obviously, you may be the only one who is odd in that interaction they are having. So, what if we preach respect? Father Kelvin, go on your missionary journey. Forget about Evangelist Ebuka Obi. Let him also do his own. And if there are people who should even call Evangelist Ebuka Obi to order in the Catholic Church, let it be the hierarchy of the church. The church is a hierarchy. There are people who it is under their responsibility to call him to order. Instead of coming on Facebook to be exchanging words all the time, he has followers. They can also respond to him the same way people are responding to us when we talk about priest.
Okay, you said when Mr. Zugo, or will you be offended with Mr. Zugo too? What's
no, you can call me Mr. Zugo. The Zugo is already there.
Yes. Okay, brother, I am not PA or communication director to Father Kelvin, who is entitled to his own opinion. I thought you will even mention about other fathers from Oluoma to these things.
No, I'm only using him because in this context he's the one who let us to come into this conversation.
The world has changed a lot with the social media. People can look at sermon, analyze it, comment. People can listen to testimony, analyze it, and make their view. People can look at action, analyze it, and make their view. But let me say something that will surprise you. The church itself, the Catholic Church have made statements about Ebuka only twice in Lagos Diocese, and they put it in writing, read it in all the parishes. I want to tell you something today. Mark this day, June 13, 2025. Anything that is planted by the Heavenly Father cannot be uprooted. If the hand of God is in that thing, there could be mistakes, there could be immaturity. In that Mwikuku blog, I refer to it again because I spoke a lot. I told that white priests, including people that may be older in the ministry, will be patient with all these things, that Ebuka is growing, both in age and in ministry. age is everything. With age comes full experience and maturity. There may things now that face love, exuberance, and other things may be driving. But as somebody continue to mature, some of these things you call criticism that are harsh are the sandpapers that Holy Spirit and God might be using to sandpaper the rough edges. It's not everything that everybody takes that I think Ebuka and his team will take. But there are some of them that can make sense. I think his problem with some priests started when he began to say that he's throwing a challenge about virginity or something like that. I said it in Kuku something because I noticed that some of their violent reactions increased since then. And that was even where Webejoy come in, and some of them, or maybe saying that some of them are doing nothing except staying in the Facebook talking about him, or that some of them were called by their mother, so that their mother will become a priest, not that God called them. So I know, I've listened again to some of the videos people forwarded to me. He's tuning down on that rhetorics, meaning that people have advised Ebuka that you don't go on your pulpit as a Catholic and begin to attack Catholic priests. That's the issue. So when you talk about respect we should be on the both sides. That's why I say I am not an advocate or a PA or communication director to Father Kelvin. He has his own team.
But I think on that one, sir, we got
I have disagreed with Father Kelvin more than any of his followers.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point.
He collected my phone number. He collected my phone number and called me by name. We talk on phone to agree on certain issues. So we are not, nobody, I don't know about others. That's why I won't say nobody. I know that there are people who have joy in dragging people down. Wait, brother. In this broadcast, there are people who have known me for 30 years. I'm seeing them listening. I see their names here, who have known me in the Catholic Church. This is my 36 years in the ministry. And one thing they will tell you for free is that Timothy of Ebu will never intentionally drag any person down. Well, I keep on asking, what do I get? If a Buchanan ministry collapse, I will be happy. Or what? No. He's part of us. He's my Christian brother. He's a fellow Catholic. He's a Christian minister. He's doing the work of God. But brother, in doing the work of God, if there are mistakes and people point it out in love, not in destructive criticism, in love, a wise person will listen. The church I belong to, the Catholic Church, takes correction very, very seriously. And because most of these things are said on social media, and not everybody have his phone number. Not everybody may have access to him.
Are you still here, sir? Are you still here, sir?
Are you not hearing me?
Yeah, at some point I stopped hearing you, but I can hear you now.
So what I'm saying, Bo, if you are doing a good work, if I don't respect and appreciate you, Ezugo, honestly, so many people have used me to say all manner of things. I ignore them. I listen to some of those things. I laugh. Every insult I say, I welcome them in the name of Jesus. One Zion member say, Timothy ga tutu komkom. I say, amen. Itutu komkom bu nukute business. Keep them together and sell it. Most environmentalists like me also pick komkom to make the place clean. But that will show you also the type of people that are giving Zion bad name. Not logical, not intelligent, not engaged in any reasoning engagement. For me, happy name Zago Kowalogo Shigatakwa Azubaina video, patiently listening and explaining shows you my character. I am not like that. So you have an Andelu maka Ebuka or maka Zion. It's in love. And those and you don't expect me to keep quiet in some of the things. There are places we have defended Zion with our lives. Here, that I'm one of the person that have a to bishop, have a
let me
and
say
if we
something.
do that, we know how we defend the ministry. But that doesn't mean no we take a wrong. I know correction. People do jealous. People do envy.
Let me say something, sir. Let me say something, sir. Permit me to even mention the name of somebody now this broadcast, and that is why sometimes I said it countless time that I respect you because I followed you up to a point where I think some of these things started coming out. Now, the same way, somebody took Amwikuku, for instance, you mentioned this name some time back. Everything went sour the moment the name of Reverend Father H.K. Mbaka came into picture. But I want to bring to your knowledge, sir, that the first people, there was a time and a woeful issue of Father Webe Joy and the Evangelist Ebuka Obi. There was a Catholic priest that spoke. Yes. In fact, I used the write-up of that Catholic priest to run a program. I watched all the things he said. He never stood with Evangelist Ebuka Obi. Neither did he even stand with the other part. He condemned these people, he condemned these people, he corrected these people, and he corrected these people. I mean, if you look at the way he addressed the issue that time, it was well balanced that anybody who would even wish to come up to condemn I watched, and if you come out now to start saying anything, people will even refer to Onya as Onya Wuni Beribe. Now, that is where I talk about intentions. To be honest, sir, some of the Catholic priests started calling Evangelist Ebuka Obi out personally first. Even though when he speak, he generalized issue without even calling anybody's name personally. That is the same thing I asked Nwikuku, for instance. He is an adult, I know, but he did not enjoy when you see people talk down on Evangelist Ebuka Obi. Almost even explain with these people. I am not, when you see me like this, I'm not a Catholic, I'm not even going to Prophet Jeremiah Church. In fact, I have talked less of the Anglican Church even know that than I have even talked about so many of these churches. But what I am saying is that correcting each other is not wrong. But the manner in which we say it, and when we say it, we should also know that these people, even including you find people who throw insult at me for addressing you in some kind of way. Those are the people who will believe in what, because whether you like it or not, we all have ministry. It may not be church ministry or what, but people who have belief in what you are doing, people who have trust in what you are doing, those are people who are loyal to you. If I address you without respect or I address you in some kind of way, those people will come calling and you cannot even control them. So in the same manner, I expected that if we are to correct each other, let us correct each other in such a way that the message will be strength, free from any form of accusation, not intended to instigate people. That is what I see from the likes of Father Kelvin Ubu and others. They are always direct. They even bring in accusations. So how honestly do you think that people will not respond to such kind of people? And my message of people has always been, yes. So why I said, sir, is for you to know that before Evangelist Ebuka Obi, I have watched and followed him. He's not perfect. He's not a perfect man. He's not perfect. But I think to everybody he has responded to, he did that because now that person had begged after him severally. But he doesn't just mention names. Like you said, you met with our father. I respect Father Mbaka a lot too. I have fought for him in the past. If people can go, my pages when I started, I have fought for him. But what I don't just like is we know exactly what the church is going through right now. I always tell people the church is the foundation in which we are standing at. Now, there are people who are fighting so hard to uproot that foundation. How do we honestly aid these people into achieving that? If we finally do that, where will we come back to come and stand? That is where some of these priests and the pastors who come out to engage each other in such a way that is not okay to me. It is not okay to me. I can correct somebody. I can do it. When you see me correct somebody in a harsh way, believe me, I did it intentional. Maybe to dish out the same pill to the person so that the person will know how it feels. And that is what I did to in terms of Father Mbaka, and Wikuku came for me. I did it intentionally to test him, to know if he's going to behave. His same way to behave when you call out Evangelist Ebuka Obi. And lo and behold, he did the same.
Because of my journey.
Okay, 1 second, 1 second. I will not exceed 1 second, sir. Let us balance things so that we will respect each other. That is all I ask for.
Okay, you have made a good point, and I think you are not out of order. Respect is reciprocal. I see. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
So respect is reciprocal. And all I'm saying to you, including myself and everybody, is that let.
Yeah, I think Mr. Timothy is off. Okay, it was a nice engagement. It was a nice engagement, and I think the network is no longer favorable on our side. I will be rounding off, but I think just like I've always said, let us respect each other for what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You can correct people, but when you correct people, try to be, if you are too harsh in correcting people, the person may not even respond to you, but other people may respond to you in such a way that you may not like. And sometimes when we talk about this Christianity, let us keep denomination aside, because what is acceptable in your own denomination may not be to me. But what is so common among us is that we are Christians. Onya united, right? It doesn't even matter when you come to your in-house something, you can talk about your doctrines or this, but when you come to the platform like this, where we all come from different background of Christianity, let us put a little bit of those doctrine aside. Let us put those doctrine aside. I don't want to go further. Have a nice day, my people. Network Ebuka Obi on this program.